podcast for life.
Doggy Charles. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. The microphone messiah. Yeah. It's the microphone messiah. And Mr. No Days Off. Microphone messiah. Mr. No Days Off. Phil, Brandon, what's good, y'all? Let's go. Bullet Cast host. Look, this is the time for us to be great on podcasts. Let you know this is the time and how the vibe lasts. This is the feeling of time and when we on it. You know we got no time for no opponent, it's the feeling. This is the time of the greats on everything that we say. You know we about getting paid. Every opinion of wrestling. You know we got the truth in it.
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the microphone messiah, Phillip Brandon, joined by the Canadian destroyer, BT Brandon Guma. Oh, yo, what's going on, man? We are here to recap another week that was in wrestling. So much has happened. Brandon did a stellar job of recapping, 4 shows? All 4?
Yeah, I recorded all the big shows. Started off with All In, obviously, NXT Great American Bash, Saturday Night's Main Event, and Evolution. Did it all.
Yes, he did it all. Ladies and gentlemen, we will try to get back to the days where we just remember the days we just hopped on and recorded right after the show and just got it out there. You remember those days?
Good times, but now people are booked on the weekends.
Hey man, look, we're gonna get back to that. We're gonna try to get back to that as best we can, or at least a day after the show. You know, just so we're not waiting days and days after you've heard every take imaginable. But man, a lot has happened. Yeah, let's just get into it. Seth Rollins was injured at Saturday night's main event, performing a moonsault off the second rope against LA Knight. They went for it. LA Knight hits the BFT 1, 2, 3. LA Knight, regardless of injury or not, gets a massive win. And I really thought he should have been the Iron Man in the Gauntlet, but I understand why they did it with Braun Breaker. Thoughts on the Rollins injury? I'm sure you.
Well, I mean, was Rollins injured? I don't know. There's a lot of people out there speculating that it possibly could be a worked injury. Now, I'm not here to say if it is or not. I mean, there's reputable people. I think John Pollock was the first to say that he heard something that they might have been planning some sort of angle at Saturday night's main event. And if you look, knees are tricky. There's no clear, break or twist exactly when Seth allegedly hurt his knee. It makes a lot of sense if they were to. It doesn't make sense to take Seth off of SummerSlam just to possibly have him cash in on CM Punk at SummerSlam. So, there's some things that kind of don't make sense, in the small things, in the small picture, why would you take one of your biggest stars off of SummerSlam and he's focal point of Raw? But
I think the focal point is back.
Yeah, and I talked a little bit on the recap because at the point I thought it was a legit injury, and we also saw it on Raw. It seems as though they're going to pivot to having Braun Breaker be the guy. And if not, at least Braun Breaker, but more focal point of Paul Heyman talking. And you guys know I'm not the biggest Seth Rollins fan. And I think
what?
I know, shocker.
That's Seth freaking Rollins.
But having Braun Breaker be the guy, maybe this was going to be the end goal eventually, is to have Braun Breaker be either turn on Seth or be the top guy in the company or in the group. But it just kind of maybe got expedited a little bit, if it's real. So and they Seth Rollins talked a little bit about it. They didn't outright say anything. And the thing is, if something really did happen, I feel like they would put that out. There's footage or something.
Footage of what?
I don't know. Just it was they're in Birmingham, which is the mecca of sports medicine.
Yeah.
They didn't have any. We didn't do the whole Triple H rehab segment where you see him go in there do testing. Seth Rollins did talk a little bit about.
Yeah, well, we can just knock that off the list right here. Seth Rollins was on the Rich Eisen show. Rich Eisen does a great job. And yeah, he just talked about how felt a pop and he said his knee was swollen, so he has to go get another MRI or go get the MRI. The rumor is 4 to 5 months. I don't know. We'll see. as you saw in Raw, Paul Heyman is still carrying the Money in the Bank contract, so the contract is still visible on TV, even though the holder is not.
Yeah, so Seth explained why there hasn't been a true update yet. He is adamant, at least what he's saying, that it's serious. At first I was like, okay, it's legit, but now I'm starting to be a little bit more skeptical, but I don't want to work myself into a shoot here. So
Brother.
hopefully we don't pray on injuries. Hopefully everything is okay. And if this is a work, I think it would be a quick turnaround and he'd cash in at SummerSlam.
Yeah, well, we shall see. Naomi cashed in at Evolution in a shock to us all. We all assumed she would cash in on Jade Cargill after Cargill dethroned Tiffany Stratton. But no, Naomi loses to Jade Cargill at Evolution in a bonkers match with Bianca as a special guest referee. Then we go to the main event. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley are tearing it up. It's often being credited as probably the best match of both women's careers. And Naomi shocks us all and becomes a women's world champion.
Yeah, it definitely was a shock because I thought Rhea and Io were having a fantastic match, and I thought they were on the verge of something, pretty special. And then they kind of pulled a rug out from under us of a finish, and they had Naomi cash in. So, I think in the moment I was like, oh, really? Like we could just have like a regular straight up match and just have, one of them, presumably Rhea beat Io, but there's still that carrot dangling out there that Rhea's never beat Io. So they can always go back to that. And everyone, like you said, was thinking, okay, she'll cash it on Jade or she'll be hanging over the Jade Tiffany match. But no, that is not the case. Is it a swerve for the sake of a swerve? Was this kind of the plan from all along? I do not know. But Naomi, she's been doing like kind of the best stuff of her, at least WWE career, because I'm not too familiar with what she was doing over in TNA, but she's been doing great stuff thus far in WWE. And all signs point to this possibly being like her last final run because he's been very open about wanting to start a family with Big Jim. So we'll
Shout
see
out Big
how
Jim,
much long she
man.
has.
Uh, yeah, man. I mean, I love the coverage that this has gotten, man. I mean, BET has covered it. A lot of other big news outlets for the culture have covered it. I mean, the first black woman to win the women's world championship, first black woman to win the Money in the Bank and cash in successfully. Then you go down the trajectory. She was the first black woman to win a championship at WrestleMania. First black woman to be the SmackDown Women's Champion 2 times over, nonetheless, and just all these great milestones, man. Congrats to Naomi. She's always been a fan favorite as we can see over the years, and just it's clicked in, man. When she came back, how long has she been back now? What, 2 years?
Think so.
Like,
Maybe like the tail end of
no, because she came back in a Rumble.
So maybe it was 24. No. Let's see. Let's see. When did Naomi come back?
When did she come back? I know she came back in a Rumble.
Yep, she came back at the 2024 Royal Rumble, so it's
Boom.
been barely, a year and a half.
Yeah, and then people were kind of like, "Oh, what are they doing with her? She just did all this stuff in TNA, blah blah blah." Let it play out, y'all. Here we are. Here we are. Congratulations to her, man. I'm excited for her. I'm excited to see what we do with this run. I mean, now she just needs to beat people now. I mean, we'll get to the match that was made in at SummerSlam, but I have some real thoughts on that. Going back to the injury bug, Adam Cole injured, had to relinquish the TNT Championship at All In. Congratulations to Dustin Rhodes, who eventually went on to win that championship. Yeah, man. What was the last match Adam Cole had? Was what, that Kyle Fletcher match when his head smacked the apron?
No, he actually wrestled on Thursday. They had like a tag match, and people are speculating that maybe it was like a clothesline because he kind of landed high up on his head. But
Okay.
people, are pointing to that apron bomb spot, which was not good. But everyone, that was not the spot that took him out. But this definitely is a legit injury. Adam Cole came out very emotional. It seems as though he was prepared to announce his retirement. And concussions are no joke, and it seems to be hitting him very hard. Like not just, strictly not being able to get cleared, but just like everyday life, like not being able to drive, not being able to sleep, Just like little things like that that people kind of don't realize what a concussion
Take for
can
granted,
do
yeah.
for you.
Man, Adam Cole, I mean, I said it time and time again, especially during that black and gold era. This man, truly a special talent. We all thought he was the second coming of Shawn Michaels. I mean, they say that about a lot of guys, but Adam Cole, he was proving it every night, man. Adam Cole, I mean, even just in the Ring of Honor days, he was always one of my favorite talents to watch. Um, hopefully, man, hopefully he can figure this out and come out on his own, go out on his own terms.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough scene because he genuinely seems like one of the nicest people in
Yes,
wrestling.
yes.
And maybe we might have like a Bryan Danielson Edge situation to where maybe he just has to leave for like 4 to 5 years and maybe he comes back, in a while. But
How
concussions
old is
are
Adam?
very complicated.
Early 30s,
Let's see. He's
34, 35,
I feel
or
like he might
mid
be
30s.
sneaky old, but I don't think he's like that old. Oh yeah, yeah. He's 36, so sneaky old.
36, okay. Okay. Yeah. Hey, man, you never know. Let me get into my all-in thoughts, man, while we're here. Like I said, congratulations, Dustin. Tony and Mercedes, damn good business. Damn good business. JoJo singing out Swerve brought back the fields from the old indie days. You love to see that. I haven't heard your recap, ladies and gentlemen. Before you listen to this, go listen to the big recap show that Brandon did to really get the in depth feel. Man, thoughts on the Young Bucks and Swerve into Osprey, man. I mean, the internet has had their thoughts.
I mean, it was a typical swerve or not swerve exactly, but definitely Osprey Young Bucks style match where there was a lot of moves, a lot of kickouts, a
A lot
lot
of
of
spots,
heavily choreographed looking
just boom,
sequences.
boom, 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 boom.
I
Let
thought
it
it
breathe.
was a good match. Would say the women's match was my favorite match and the best match of the night. Just kind of doing my condensed thoughts here. I thought show way too long. I mean, 8 hours in total, 6 hours
Eight
without
hours.
8 hours if you include the pre-show, 6 hours of the true pay-per-view. There's a lot of stuff on there that you could have cut off, trimmed down. The men's gauntlet match in particular, way too long. It was 35 minutes, and about 10 minutes of it actually mattered and people cared about. But the stuff that needed to be good, like the tag match, like the women's match and the main event, I had some qualms with the Omega Okada match, but the main event, Hangman and Moxley, truly delivered. The story was fantastic. Now, if you're not a blood and guts person, you don't like the gruesomeness, the blood, the gore, I have nothing to tell you. Like, I cannot argue that. I understand people will be turned off by that, but
What you call it? Bully Ray. He put over the fork spot, like having the fork stuck in the turnbuckle. Like, oh, if it's strong enough to pierce the turnbuckle, imagine what it's going to do to the human flesh. And it did just that. Yeah, man, they took the title out of the briefcase, and it still had Daniel Bryan's side plates on it. So or Bryan Danielson. So they legit haven't touched the championship since what, November?
October.
October. Oh, Jesus. Long-term story. But if you look at the Death Riders thing, the ops got over. Powerhouse Hobbs is elevated even higher now. Um, you went through the emotional ride with Hangman Page, and the Hangman Page character, just kind of going through dealing with men's mental health. That kind of being the story arc of this, and him to finally achieve the mountaintop. But do you think this was a bigger moment than when he first won the championship?
I mean, definitely, just because the stage was bigger. Now, maybe you could argue AEW is in a better spot when he won the title at first, just because pure eyeballs and stuff. I have a question for you, Philip, because I have worker people that I talk wrestling with now, and one of my coworkers was talking about how, you know, the Hangman Moxley thing, it was very similar to the Rock Cody and Roman Reigns match at WrestleMania 40. Now, is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
Because
So
is that a bad thing?
there,
But my argument was it's a guy getting a redemption arc and winning a championship. Like they're
but
similar, but
iron
they're not the exact same thing.
But ironically enough, the final bosses in these two scenarios were members of the Shield, who both had quote unquote reigns of terror. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen those similarities. I don't know, man. I biased because I was at WrestleMania 40 and I witnessed the end of it. I I mean they did good business. I think all in all, probably from the stuff I've seen, I will go like what you said, Mercedes and Tony, just off of. And man, let me talk about this. There was a period of time when Charlotte and Sasha were having those matches on Raw for that Raw Women's Championship, and they were just going back and forth. And at that point in time, Trish Stratus and Trish Stratus, man, congrats to her, still out here kicking ass.
2000, 2001 Trish Stratus will forever be goated.
Come on, man.
Respectfully.
Come on, man. Y'all don't know. It's time to rock and roll. But yeah, no, for the longest time, Trish Stratus, like, oh, it's my favorite wrestler, my favorite women's wrestler, etc. And then Charlotte and Sasha were having those matches, and I'd flip flop between like, oh man, Charlotte's my person right now. No, it's Sasha. Man, come after this, man. Mercedes, you back in the running. You back in the running for me, man. Went out there and did this thing. Love it. Toni Storm, immense talent as well. She is the greatest leave WWE AEW story.
Yeah, I mean, it's truly a crazy turnaround because she was always a good wrestler.
Yes.
And then, the character work, she had like the whatever she was going for in the WWE look, but a fully formed character. And if you go back, I was not a big fan of the Timeless Storm gimmick to begin with, because it was like she was just kind of like over the top,
but it grew on you.
And it finally, she finally morphed it, and she was able to kind of work it in the ring. And I think that's kind of what was the biggest part. She was able to kind of take that character and meld it with a regular wrestling, act or regular wrestling style. And she's definitely found her way. And I thought it was the right choice to have her win at All In.
Yeah. Cope is back, brother. But your friend's about to be. His brains are about to be scrambled, but you got to get your shit in.
Exactly. Angel Pyro.
Man, I just saw, and then what, spoiler alert, the Tribal Chief is back. He just ran to the ring.
I wouldn't say ran. He sauntered.
But still,
direct beeline to the ring.
Yeah. You can leave Penta alone. You can leave Jeff Hardy alone.
Rhea Ripley did it once.
We have a new one. We have a new runner. This is the champion of it. This is the champion of get my shit in before my friend gets scrambled. One of these times, bro, when somebody's about to get attacked and somebody comes out,
just do it. Just smack
him. Just do it. Just do it. I'm like, oh well, hey, you could have saved him, but hey, you wanted to pose, brother. No. We talked about Seth Rollins on the Rich Eisen show. Talk about Goldberg and his retirement and how he feels, and he's upset.
So yeah, he was on the Ariel Helwani show. I believe it was Monday, so pretty quick turnaround from what happened on Saturday. And Goldberg was not a fan of how everything went down, from the lead up to how he kind of took like a 6 months hiatus, and basically the entire story was built in 3 weeks, to the match itself. The whole Seth Rollins of it all kind of maybe spurred upon him getting thrown an extra like 10 minutes in the match. And then, he didn't really get a proper send off. He just he lost. They went to commercial. They came back. He had his entire crew in the ring, and he talked for like 30 seconds, and he got cut off. So, I kind of see Bill's point here. I kind of see more like the ending, like, especially like on Peacock or like on YouTube. Like NBC is one thing because they have like their local news they have to get to, but like me, I was watching on Peacock, and they just went to the standard Charlotte Flair profile piece that like always run after a pay-per-view. It's like, how come technologically they could just keep it on Goldberg for however long his speech was going to be? And there's always been that kind of WCW, anti-WCW feel going back to, the WrestleMania 31 match with Sting and, other stuff clearly when they first bought the company. But it's a tricky situation. Goldberg, you can argue, has had, many more chances than he should have ever had in his later stages. But I do kind of agree with him. I talked about the build-up, like the Goldberg. If this was truly his final match, that's why I said maybe it wasn't going to be, just because they didn't make it as big of a deal as I thought they could have.
Yeah, should it have just happened sooner? Like, did they have to wait till Atlanta once because that Bad Blood was in October in Atlanta. Should they have just done it at Survivor Series and boom, that's it?
Maybe. but he's older. It takes a lot of time to get in shape as much as Goldberg can get in ring shape.
Well,
And
how long
he looks great.
how long did he say he trained for this?
I didn't hear that part, but I mean, presumably he trained a long time.
Or hell, they could. What did Gunther do at the Royal Rumble?
That's a good question, brother. I don't
I
think
don't
he did
remember. Like,
anything. Well,
or
because he was.
if Survivor Series would have been too quick of a turnaround, then you could have said, "All right, well, hey, we did this in Atlanta. Let's build to the Royal Rumble, Goldberg, and we'll have you make sporadic appearances, do a whole press tour, etc. Go to the Rumble, kind of do the same gimmick." People felt like he should have just been squashed in like 3 minutes, like he used to do back in the day. What are your thoughts on that? Because this went like 15, right?
It went a long ways.
The longest match ever.
Yeah, long. I mean, I don't
I
know if
wouldn't actually. I
longest
wouldn't
match
say.
ever.
I wouldn't say that he wrestled Triple H once, and Hunter likes to go. He likes to go a minute.
Um, but like it does go back to the Seth Rollins thing. Like if the Seth Rollins injury was legit, because I even said like in the moment, because like they were doing interview or they were doing like entrances with like 25 minutes left in the show. I'm like, okay, either Goldberg is gonna get like a good 5-10 minutes of just talking, or they're gonna go quite a ways, and they ended up going quite a ways.
I mean, but they uploaded his whole speech on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, but also like in the moment, or like how many people are actually going out of their way to
Did
watch that?
I mean, if you loved Goldberg, I mean, well, didn't Bret Hart have some words about this?
I mean, he probably did. I didn't see it. I mean, he was probably like, it's a damn shame.
Bret Hart's probably
He,
like, good.
he was probably like,
I'm
well,
glad
Bill
they cut it off.
he cut my career short, so why does the WWE cut his career short? That's probably something he said.
That probably is something Goldberg said. Oh my goodness, Jesus. Any other thought? What are your thoughts on the whole career of Goldberg? Let's hit that.
The later stages, WWE, I mean, kind of his entire WWE, when you even go back 2003. I think Goldberg is definitely kind of maybe underappreciated for his he gets like kind of justifiably hate in criticism, but you know he was one of the lone bright points in like 1998 WCW. And maybe if he didn't smash that car window and he like shattered an artery and he was there for 99, maybe they could have held it afloat a little bit. And Goldberg was outside of the NWO, probably like the biggest success story for WCW. Because like you can add Sting to the mix, but Sting was there before Bischoff and them, and Sting was basically over because of the NWO, and to the same degree Goldberg was
You're
too.
not
Because
going to put over Hugh Morris?
sorry, well, Hugh Morris first loss that Goldberg first win.
Bro, you're not going to put over Alex Wright or Berlin?
Hey,
Three
Alex
count?
Wright, the German
Disco
sausage.
Inferno? Hey, okay, all right, brother.
Sorry.
Brother. All right, we are gonna move on from all that. Cody Rhodes put out a tweet um on the 8th of this month. He said, "Don't flinch. Thank you all for riding with me all this time. Love you, Ford. Excited for what we do next. The internet was in a frenzy. What does this mean? Is he turning heel? What's going on?" Brandon, what do you think this means from the American Nightmare?
I think it's just standard, white people inspirational talk, like stuff John Cena says. Cody Rhodes also maybe got himself into some trouble because he talked about the WWE uh, Saudi Arabia relationship, and he basically like went down the don't make this political because we're just here to entertain people, which whole can of worms, which we don't need to get into. But I think if you've heard this show long enough, you kind of know my feelings on Saudi Arabia and WWE going there.
Um,
But
who I heard Sam Roberts say, the last part, excited for what we do next. Who talks like that? He mentioned Dwayne. Is this I mean, are we looking too far into that, or is this because I remember Cody, he said his first promo back from Saturday night's main event when he returned. His first promo back on that SmackDown. The Rock wanted my soul. That offer may still be on the table. What's going on here, brother?
well, the win is it confirmed if Cena's going to be on SmackDown this week? Because they only got 3 more
Yeah,
shows, right? So
yeah.
I would presume we're going to get full fledged, kick it into high gear. Exactly what they're going to do with Cody. A lot of people speculate he's going to turn heel. I don't think it's the moment quite yet because I think
Is
he
it
want
the
to.
double entendre?
I mean, people love a double turn, but
People love Cody Rhodes.
people, and that's the other thing is like you turn Cena back babyface, which people like. You're only gonna get like 5 more months of him, so and you're gonna turn your biggest babyface heel, and
Or
I
what if
think
Cody's not heel isn't like like when people turn heel, you people, they do the you people promo. What if Cody doesn't do that? What if
dyes his
he's just
hair black.
yeah, yeah. What if he just says, "I'm not turning on you. I'm doing this for me." No, they find that killer instinct. He didn't have it at WrestleMania. It cost him. He didn't hesitate with Randy Orton. That's why he became the king of the ring. Is he going to hesitate with John at MetLife, or what are we going to do?
I mean, I would be open for a Cody character shift, not a full blown turn. But if we kind of step a little bit away from like the white meat, all American babyface, quarterback of the team that he's been going down these past few years, I'd be
But
fine
brother,
with that.
he's the quarterback.
Sometimes you got to have a little bad boy to your quarterback.
Who was the best bad boy quarterback of all time?
Best bad boy quarterback. I mean,
Tell me right now.
Joe Namath did win one Super Bowl, not the best of all time.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if I'd say he's a bad boy because he kind of had the all American flair to him, but Brett Favre.
Oh, hey, brother. Yeah,
Mhm.
Brett Favre. That have you seen that documentary about brother?
Not the best guy, but probably, shout out to Mongo, 85 Bears, Jim McMahon. He was a hell of a college quarterback. Didn't have a fantastic career in the NFL, but he did win a Super Bowl with the Bears.
The Bears. Shout
Shout out
out.
Jim McMahon.
Shout out. WB Real trailer. How do you feel? I've seen it.
Yeah, popped it on before the show started, and it, pretty straightforward stuff. It does, interview the wrestlers, or the people who are the wrestlers, because we're unreeling the business. It's interesting. I do like those behind the scenes. The Netflix does the Full Swing. They have Hard Knocks on HBO.
It
So I
all
always,
becomes real at some point.
yeah,
Oh
but
no, you didn't like that. I'm sorry.
the business is more open than ever is. I think CM Punk kind of talked about how he's always been taught to protect the business, and clearly this show is not protecting the business. I still wonder because they once again hammered home the creative meetings will be shown. How much of that will it be showcased? Because interviews and stuff like that for the wrestlers and behind the scenes stuff we've seen a bunch of times, but really the meat and potatoes for what the wrestling fans are going to want to see is the creative meetings, and I wonder how much they're going to lean into
Man,
that.
they're not
If
showing us that. We're not going to see that.
I mean, they showed it was blurred out, but they showed us a big old whiteboard with stuff written down on it. And
Okay,
Triple
I
H
mean,
talked about
so
how
I
there's
guess
always these branching stories that they can go in different directions. You got to pick the best one.
what I'm saying is what you call it. When the 29th is when this debuts, right? This is when this airs.
Yep.
Will the whiteboard be will it be censored? That's what I want to know. That's what all these fans want to know.
I mean, I think it has to be uncensored because then what's the point of showing it if you're going to censor it? And all the stuff presumably is like in the past because I mean they're building up to WrestleMania. Is kind of
Yes.
like the big selling point is like this is all going to culminate probably maybe the last episode or maybe the first episode will be a WrestleMania 41. I don't know. Um. So yeah, I mean
How far are we away from SummerSlam?
we are three weeks away. I do believe.
You remember when we used to do Mania Madness, the bracket?
Good times.
Can we get a SummerSlam Madness? Can we do the greatest SummerSlam opening matches of all time? Can we do that?
I mean, my people could talk. My people can talk to your people. We can see what I can
Let's
cook up.
let's get that on and going. WWE Unreal, I am excited to see what they do. I still believe in protecting kayfabe to a certain extent. So I don't know. We'll see. Tony Khan felt AAA double crossed him.
Yeah, he was doing an interview. I unfortunately do not know what the station or the person was that he was doing this interview with. But Tony Khan,
Was he on Rich Eisen also, or am I tripping?
this was not a Rich Eisen thing, but he was talking to somebody, And he was talking about how the end of 23 going into 24, AAA has been bought out by WWE, and so he asked him kind of how do you feel about that, and Tony Khan kind of talked about how he felt as though maybe he was double crossed from AAA because FTR, who were the tag team champions of AAA at the time, were getting some sort of weird vibes from Dragon Lee and apparently there was like WWE cameras there and Conan and all them. So apparently he's saying that like this WWE deal with AAA was kind of in the works, even though AEW was still in bed with AAA. And
So
then,
wait, hold on. I mean, WWE announced that they bought AAA this year. So,
but it goes more back to when they signed Dragon Lee. So when they signed Dragon Lee back in like 24 or
okay,
23, whenever the exact date was, is that was kind of like the impetus, and because then Dragon Lee, I believe, beat FTR for the championship. Dragon Lee and Jalistico, I think, beat them
yes.
for the championships. So then he felt as though maybe that there was, something going on behind the scenes that he was not being told about. And then that led to FTR lose the titles and then, keep going down the line. They're not partners with AAA. They go to CMLL now, which is probably for the best because CMLL is the hotter, more legendary promotion in Mexico. They have their relationship with New Japan. So I think for AEW, I think it works for everyone, to be honest, because I think it's better for AEW to work with CMLL, who in turn works with New Japan and vice
Yeah.
versa.
Tony Khan, I saw also, he said that he's now just taking over the whole full creative of the show.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of been the case for a little bit now. So it kind of goes back to like the early days when they, whatchamacallit, the Dark Order like had that angle where like they completely took over the show, and I got a real big pushback. So that's when Tony Khan like first kind of really took over, and then he kind of took a step back a little bit, I think, like a year or two ago. But then it seems as though in the day-to-day stuff,
So then who was writing this shit?
well, he was always writing it, but I think what they're saying is he's more like in control in terms of like he's not letting people kind of do their own thing. Like
So
he's more micromanaging.
he's finally on the Vince wave.
Yeah, so
We're
he's
gonna do it
finally
like this.
the Vince, the all knowing, the all, he has to say yes to everything pretty much is the vibe I get, when he used to give the wrestlers a lot more leeway. And if you were to see those 2 years ago when I thought AEW definitely was on the decline, there was a lot of kind of overlapping stuff, a lot of questionable things that were going on. Maybe wrestlers just kind of in it for themselves and just kind of get themselves over without thinking about the betterment of the company
I
or
don't
what
know,
else is
man.
going on the show.
I've heard some things. I'll speak about off air. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. AJ Styles may be returning to TNA this weekend for Slammiversary. It's going to be phenomenal if it happens.
Yeah, I mean that's what the TNA president said. Is it
Bro, you
Carlos Silva? Silva? I don't remember what
you
his first
gotta
name
have
is.
you gotta have Dominic attack him. You gotta have Dominic show up with the Intercontinental Championship and attack AJ Styles.
I mean, the president of TNA tweeted out that Slammiversary is going to be, in all caps, phenomenal. And either he is tone deaf, as all tone deaf, or they got some cooking. And I would hopefully it's the second one because he is setting himself up for failure if AJ Styles not come out through that door. If we don't hear "Get Ready to Fly,"
You know he hated that song.
well, then we're probably not going to hear it. But I still want to hear it.
No, I get because he used it for so long. But yeah, no, if he comes, it has to be get ready to fly. No, that was the man. I used to turn on TNA on Thursday nights just to hear that thing. Man, come on now, let's do it. Wyatt Six won the tag titles on SmackDown. How do you feel?
And, it's a SmackDown tag titles, kind of all of the. It feels as though it's the Wyatt Six against everybody else, like heels
Yeah.
or baby faces. They're just all kind of like one giant act now at this point. Good that the puppet undead people are so excited to win these wrestling tag team championships.
Well, brother, regardless of what you're doing or not, you want to be at the top of the division, whatever division you're in.
Agreed. I know that's a little more of a nitpick, but from a character perspective, I mean, what are the Wyatt Six doing? At this point, I feel like they just come out and wrestle. They don't even like do any wacky promos, no vignettes, no like mission statement. They just do the entrance, they wrestle, and that's about it.
Isn't that what it was back in the day? You do your entrance, you wrestle, you leave.
You do some promos, you got to build up the town.
That is true. That is true. We shall see. I was getting Monday Night Raw. CM Punk wins the gauntlet. I mean, Braun Breaker, he ran through LA Knight. He ran through Penta. He ran through Jay Uso. Um, all for him to catch it, all for Braun Breaker to catch a GTS. CM Punk and Gunther is official. MetLife Stadium, SummerSlam, night 1 or 2. We don't know yet. I assume it's going to be night 1 for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Gauntlet match was good. I think Braun Breaker looked, phenomenal in while running the gauntlet. They spaced it out. They gave him some time to kind of catch his breath. I thought the Jey Uso mid-match entrance was really stupid, but that's kind of Jey Uso.
Whoa,
Like
whoa,
people,
whoa, whoa, whoa! They tried to cut his entrance short, so he gonna run it back.
yeah, but you shouldn't do that in the middle of a match
Why not?
because you're wrestling Braun Breaker
He
and
had 14,000 fans yeeting. It's brother. This is it. This is what we do.
that,
Oh,
that's a pinnacle.
The guy's dad did his dance in the middle of the 2000 Royal Rumble. Like, come on.
Yeah, but if you remember, there was nobody else in the ring outside of his two homies.
Okay, and Braun Breaker was on the outside. He just took it. He had been through how many people did he went through? 2 guys at that point in time. Got hit with a suicide dive. It was laying on the ground outside. So I'll yeet real quick.
Even though I think it lasted like 3 minutes because it was during the commercial break.
I don't. I mean,
It's hard to tell because we're Americans, so we don't see what happens in between the commercials.
absolutely.
But yeah, so Punk wins, makes sense. Kind of dumb that there's no disqualifications in a gauntlet match because like if the person could have been disqualified, just disqualify them and then move on to the next person. But once again, God forbid I try to make my wrestling make sense. So yeah, Punk, he didn't wrestle for that long. I don't think like he only wrestled like 5 to 7 minutes, like actual match wise. It wasn't too long. And then the OTC is back. Oh, sorry, OTC1 is back.
Yes, the tribal chief, the head of the table, has returned. Roman Reigns came to clear house after Bronson Reed was about a tsunami. Punk and Jey Uso takes care of Reed, takes care of Breaker. Paul Heyman looks horrified, helps up his cousin. So are we going to get the tribal chief and main event Jey Uso back together for a tag team match against Reed and Breaker? I think that's the move.
Yeah, going back to the Seth Rollins thing, if it was because Seth, I think said it was, or someone reported, maybe Uncle Dave reported that it was supposed to be Seth and Roman, which I don't exactly believe because I think it would make total sense on such a short build to just have a tag team match with Roman, Jay, and whoever if it's going to be a 3-person or just Roman and Jay against Braun and Seth. But Seth is out the picture, so Braun, makes sense for them to be the two to take them on. So and it's basically just it's Roman's back, so everyone's going to cheer about that.
Yes, I mean it's done crazy numbers over all forms of social media. Roman Reigns is a draw, man. Come on now.
Still some tension between Roman and Punk, but not outwardly friendly. But we got to build that relationship to possibly this mega 6-man or just a mega tag team match between those two.
Make a tag match. Triple threat has been made for SummerSlam. Naomi is out there. Rhea comes out there. The internet's turning on Rhea Ripley.
Are they? I haven't seen this. I know the internet loves Io Sky's outfit.
Respectfully, of course. Yeah, like man, Rhea in the title picture again. She's getting like people are like Super Cena. Basically, this is basically where they're going with it. And
we got Rhea Cena and Becky Hogan running roughshod over the women's division.
Becky Lynch walking out in the red and yellow, absolutely phenomenal. Somebody redid her entrance from Raw with the Hogan theme. I said, oh boy. But yeah, so SummerSlam we're gonna need a triple threat. Naomi defends the title against Rhea and Io. I think Naomi needs to pin Rhea.
Yeah, I mean, I think early prediction would be Naomi retains and continues on to see what she's doing. It is a triple threat match, so no disqualifications. So maybe somebody returns or someone attacks someone to have them go on to do whatever they're going to do post SummerSlam. These triple threat feuds, especially since it's 2 babyface and 1 heel, we saw how that worked with or didn't work with Lyra, Becky, and Bayley. So and even go back to the WrestleMania triple threat, and those were technically 3 baby faces. I don't know how they're gonna make whatever the story is going to be involved of the, because it's going to be Io and Rhea bickering, because that's just what they do when it comes to these triple threat feuds. And no one's going to come across likable.
Naomi's very likable.
And that's the problem because she's the heel.
Proceed with caution.
She had her like full razor blade outfit on Saturday or Sunday, and no one got hurt.
Yeah, proceed with caution, man. Lyra defeats Bailey. So Lyra and Becky Lynch SummerSlam for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I feel like Bailey should have won. That's just my opinion. I'm not gonna lie. We needed something blockbuster, man. Bailey, Becky, Women's IC Championship. That was gonna be Steamboat and Savage. I'm telling you, it was gonna be perfect and Brett.
I was on the other side. I was thinking Lyra should have won. Check the tape under the radar. I think I said that. That the heat is more with Lyra and Becky at this point in terms of like the story they've been telling. So, the match stuff I thought was really good outside of like kind of the dumb early pinfall that they always do in these 2 out of 3 falls matches. But the finish I thought was really good. And Lyra is kind of like the WWE's version of Mercedes, to where her character and talking isn't the best and people aren't really connecting with her. But when she has time to tell stories in the ring, the crowd gets behind her and the crowd gets enthralled pretty much every time. Because, I think the triple threat match on Sunday, yes, that's what day it was, and the 2 out of 3 falls match on Raw, probably 2 of the best matches in WWE this week.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I just saw this. Back to the CM Punk of it all. Today's the 14-year anniversary of the Money in the Bank match with John Cena.
There you go.
Didn't
watch it. Didn't buy it, unfortunately, but wish I did, because that was early in my fandom where I didn't exactly know how to be a pirate. So if I didn't watch it, if I didn't pay for it, I don't watch it.
Hold on, let me see if the site I used to go to. Let's see if that even still exists. There we go. Shall we see? Shall we see if my pirate website still exists? I'm scared.
Now it's all about Stream East or Crack Streams. Usually where I go if it comes to UFC pay-per-views, which, we don't condone piracy on this platform.
We do not condone piracy on this platform. That is one of the no-nos. That's one of the big major no-nos of what we do here. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Apparently, it still exists. Wow, shout out. I will not divulge the website. The Judgment Day retained the Women's Tag Team Championships because of Dominic Mysterio. He had a little thing backstage with Adam Pearce. He's praying to God that he doesn't have to wrestle. AJ's praying that he should be cleared. Good stuff. Let's talk about Hangman Page's promo now that he's AEW World Champion.
Yeah, just a standard kind of, champion post-title win promo. Didn't, not really a mission statement, but just kind of like thanking everybody involved, thanked the fans, thanked pretty much everybody who's gone against the Death Riders. Talked about Orange Cassidy, who, God love him, I kind of forgot because he's been injured for a little bit. Thanked Ospreay and Swerve and Darby Allin and Bryan Danielson and the Ops and everyone else who's kind of been involved. And it was just kind of a solid kind of first step direction for the Hangman character. Talked a little bit, as you alluded to, kind of the men's mental health, about saying how he cried, and Moxley might say that makes him less of a man, but he'd be wrong, and things like that. So, no interference, no, run in from anybody. Just Hangman went out there, talked for 10 minutes. It was solid stuff, and just kind of was like, look, this is our champion. This is our guy. And we're running with them. So good stuff there. Throughout the show, we did see the Young Bucks. They're no longer EVPs. They're definitely playing up the comedically. Apparently now they're just broke. So I guess they're going to go down like the Baron Corbin route of, no more limousines to the venues. They're taking lifts and Ubers. No pyro, terrible Titantron for them. So this is probably going to be a running bit for the foreseeable future for them. We did get an Adam Copeland promo. Stokely came out, Big Stoke, said that if Copeland lays a finger on FTR, he is fired. So that's going to be something going on. Copeland talked about how FTR and him were buddies, and FTR helped get him back to wrestling after he got cleared, even when he was in the other company. And so clearly setting up a possible Christian Copeland tag match against FTR, but looks as though that might be a little further on down the line. Tony Storm promo, she was up in the rafters. Cool little venue for Dynamite, and this is where they're going to hold their residency for the next, I think, 2 weeks, at least till the end of the month. It's a definitely a smaller venue, but it has a different aesthetic. It reminds me of the place we went to, Phillip, in San Francisco for those West Coast shows, not the Irish culture place.
The stateroom.
The stateroom. It kind of has that little vibe to it.
A little Kinsey Hall vibe.
Yeah, but it's much bigger. It's a much bigger venue than that, but just kind of the backdrop that it has.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, so Tony Storm cut a promo. She talked about Mercedes, talked about how, maybe they run it back, and, similar to Adam Page, but this one did have the run-in from Athena. She talked about how she's going to... It seems as though these gauntlet winners can cash it in whenever they want. Because MJF also cut a promo.
We're just doing Money in the Banks. Like, what are we doing over with this product?
Even though Christian had one similar that he was holding over he won it all in last year too, so that makes sense.
I don't know, man. I get it. Like, it's hard to kind of do something else because of the Money in the Bank concept already. But if we can figure something else out to where it's just not the same.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the gauntlet matches in general, but also kind of the...
Can the gauntlet match kind of be like the king and queen of the ring? Like, all right, you win the gauntlet, you at this show, boom.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they basically did for the Owen, so it would make sense for them to do something like that as well.
And what's the next pay-per-view?
Well, technically the next one is Forbidden Door.
Okay,
and that's
what's after that?
Because it's August, and then it's All Out in September.
Boom, there you go.
Which is in Toronto. Toronto.
And go to All Out with it.
So clearly building towards Mercedes and Tony Storm match. We're going to get Tony Storm and Billy Starks next week on Dynamite. Okada comes out. He wrestles, squash match pretty much. But Okada has a new theme song. It has words to it. It definitely kind of has that, anime, high pitch, not pitch, but, rock type feel. It's a good sound, but, clearly his New Japan theme is legendary. But this does kind of set up the hangman of it all to where if Okada were to turn face, eventually in the next year, 2 years plus, you hear that Rainmaker theme and it's people going to go crazy for that. So I do not oppose the theme song switch up there. And then finally, main event, Briscoe, Hobbs, and Page defeat the Death Riders. So Darby Allin appears up in the rafters, distracts Moxley. So even though Moxley lost, it seems like he's not going to be gone for the foreseeable future. It looks like Ospreay might be taking some time off for the next month before Forbidden Door, but looks as though maybe it's going to be Darby and Moxley be the feud for them going forward. So no clear picture yet on what Page will be doing, since this was the day after, or the show after All In. So definitely just kind of like soak in the glory of the win, and then maybe next week we can kind of move forward and see what we're going to do with that championship picture. So yeah, nothing too crazy.
I'm listening to this Okada theme song.
It's I'm not gonna say it's a banger, but it's not bad. Yeah, it sounds perfectly fine. It clearly is not going to have the same umph that his New Japan theme song has, just because it's not as legendary. I still would wish we would have gotten the Kenny Omega theme song, his New Japan theme against Okada at All In, but that's probably not going to happen. I don't know if we'll ever hear that Kenny Omega cleaner theme song again, but yeah. So Dynamite was not a barn burner of a show. Had some good wrestling on it, but it was clearly just kind of taking a deep breath post All In.
All right, and that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back next week. As always, be safe and stay dangerous. Yes, sir.